Why Canada's middle class is quietly disappearing, and no one is talking about it. That's how many Canadians, when surveyed, say they consider themselves middle class. 78%. But here's what nobody's telling you. That middle class, the one your parents built their entire lives around, the one you've been working toward, the one you were told was the reward for doing everything right, it is disappearing. Not slowly, not theoretically, right now, in real time. And the most disturbing part, most of the people it's happening to have absolutely no idea. I'm going to show you the data behind this today, and more importantly, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do about it before it's too late for you. Stay with me, because the second half of this video is where the real value is. Section 2. The illusion. Picture this. You have a job, a decent one. You and your partner pull in maybe $110,000 combined. You own a home, or at least you're paying a mortgage on one. You have 2 cars. You take a vacation once a year if you're lucky. You contribute something to your RRSP. You feel fine. You feel middle class. But look a little closer. After your mortgage, your car payments, groceries, utilities, daycare, and taxes, how much is actually left at the end of the month? For most Canadian households in 2026, the honest answer is almost nothing. According to Statistics Canada data from 2025, and I want you to really hear this, the middle 60% of Canadian households now have a savings rate of less than 2%. Some have zero. Many have negative savings rates, meaning they are spending more than they earn every single month. Meanwhile, the top 20% of households, their savings rate is nearly 13%. Same country, same economy, 2 completely different realities. So what happened? How did the most educated, hardest working generation of Canadians end up feeling broke despite earning more than their parents ever did? The answer is not what most people think, and it has almost nothing to do with your personal choices. Section 3. The 3 forces killing the middle class. Force number 1. The wage illusion. Your salary went up, let's say 5% last year. You felt good about that raise. But groceries went up 8%, rent went up 10%, car insurance went up 15%, property taxes went up, utilities went up. You got a raise and somehow ended up poorer than you were before. This isn't a new problem, but Globe and Mail reported that real median wages in Canada have barely moved since the 1970s when you strip out inflation. But it's getting worse faster right now because the cost pressures Canadians are facing in 2026 are hitting everything simultaneously. The one-liner, you're working harder than your parents did and falling further behind than they ever did. Force number 2, the wealth elevator. Here's the part that nobody in polite company talks about. In Canada right now, there are essentially 2 economic elevators. The first elevator goes up. It's powered by assets, stocks, investment properties, business equity. If you already own these things, they are generating wealth for you right now while you sleep. The second elevator goes down. It's powered by labor, your time, your skills, your salary. You trade hours for dollars, and those dollars buy less every year. The top 20% of Canadian households, they're all on the first elevator. The wealthiest 20% of Canadians control nearly 68% of the country's total net assets. The entire middle class, the middle 60%, shares about 29%. 20% of the population owns more than 2/3 of Canada's wealth, and that gap is getting wider, not narrower. The one-liner, if your only asset is your paycheck, you are on the wrong elevator. Force number 3, the identity trap. And here is perhaps the most dangerous force of all. A Polaris survey found that 78% of Canadians identify as middle class, including 39% of people earning less than $20,000 a year and 92% of people earning over $150,000. Everyone thinks they're middle class, which means almost nobody is accurately assessing their own financial position.
If you think you're solidly middle class, you don't feel urgency. You don't change your behavior. You keep spending like you have more cushion than you do. You delay investing because you figure you'll start next year. You assume things will eventually feel more comfortable. But things won't get more comfortable on their own, and that comfortable self-image is the very thing keeping millions of Canadians stuck. The one-liner, the middle-class identity is a story people tell themselves to avoid a truth that's uncomfortable to face. Section 4. The real numbers. Where do you actually stand? So let's get concrete. In 2025, Statistics Canada defined middle-class income as household earnings between roughly $57,000 and $115,000 per year. That's after-tax income for a family. Only 19% of Canadian households earn over $100,000, and that's household income, meaning two people working. Now, here's the question I want you to sit with. If you're in that range, does it feel like enough? Does $90,000 a year feel comfortable in Toronto, in Vancouver, even in Calgary or Ottawa? Most people would say no. And that's not because they're bad with money, it's because the cost of a normal life, mortgage, 2 cars, kids, groceries, retirement savings, now exceeds what a middle-class income can actually cover in most major Canadian cities. The math no longer works for the life that was sold to you. I ran the numbers for a Toronto household earning $95,000 combined. After income tax, you're taking home roughly $6,400 a month. Average mortgage payment on a $700,000 home, $3,800. 2 car payments and insurance, $900. Groceries for a family of 4, $900. Utilities, $250. Phone, internet, $200. That's $6,050 before daycare, clothing, medical, entertainment, or a single dollar into your RRSP or TFSA. You are $350 away from breaking even every month. 1 car repair, 1 dental bill, 1 appliance breaking down, and you're in the red. That is not the middle class your parents experienced. That is a financial tightrope. Section 6. What you can actually do about it. Okay, so the system is stacked, the math is hard, the gap is widening. Now what? I'm not going to tell you to cut your lattes. I'm not going to suggest a side hustle. You already know that stuff. What I'm going to tell you is the structural shift that separates the people who break out of this trap from the people who don't. Step 1. Stop trading only time for money. Every dollar you invest is a tiny employee you hire. That employee works 24 hours a day, never asks for a raise, and compounds over time. The fundamental move for any Canadian who wants to escape the middle-class squeeze is to start building the second income stream, not from a second job, but from assets. Your TFSA is the most powerful tool you have for this. As of 2026, the cumulative contribution room if you've been 18 since 2009 is over $95,000. If you haven't maxed it, that is your first priority, tax-free growth forever. That is an extraordinary advantage that most Canadians are not using fully. Step 2. Understand the difference between lifestyle inflation and wealth building. Every time your income goes up, there is enormous social pressure to upgrade your life immediately. Bigger house, newer car, better vacations. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is the mechanism that keeps middle-class Canadians running on a treadmill forever. The counterintuitive move is to freeze your lifestyle at its current level for 12 to 24 months every time you get a significant raise and funnel that entire increase into investments. You don't feel the sacrifice because you were already living on the old income. But over a decade, the compounding effect is transformational. Step 3. Treat your home as shelter, not your retirement plan. This one will make some people uncomfortable. Canadians are obsessed with real estate as a wealth vehicle. But if your home is your only asset, you have a problem. You can't eat your home equity. You can't pay for your kids' university with it without borrowing against it. And you can't retire on it without selling and moving somewhere cheaper, which often defeats the purpose. Your home is shelter. It may appreciate, that's great, but it should not be your only bet. Build the investment portfolio alongside it. Step 4. Get brutally honest about your actual financial position. Remember that 78% statistic? The one where almost everyone thinks they're middle class? The first step to escaping the trap is being honest enough to name which side of the line you're actually on. Here's a simple test. Write down your monthly take-home pay. Write down every fixed expense. What's left? If it's less than 20% of your take-home pay, you are financially fragile right now, even if your income sounds impressive to other people. Name that reality, because you can't fix a problem you won't acknowledge. We started with a number, 78%. 78% of Canadians who think they're middle class. Here's another one, 77%. That's how many Canadians in that same survey said they believe Canada's middle class is shrinking. So most Canadians believe the middle class is disappearing, and most of them also believe they personally are exempt from that trend. Both things cannot be true. What I want you to take away from this video is not fear. Fear without a plan is just stress. What I want you to take away is clarity. The middle class as a destination, the idea that if you work hard and do everything right, comfort will arrive on its own, that version is gone. But a financially secure, genuinely stable life is still absolutely within reach for Canadians who understand the new rules and start playing by them. That's what this channel is about. Real Canadian financial reality. No sugarcoating, no generic advice, just the actual numbers and what to do about them.